Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. The former WBC champion Deontay Wilder has emerged to claim he was a zombie the night of the Tyson Fury rematch, and also that Tyson Fury is not the champion. So these comments and more were made on the PBC Podcast, of which I'll play some clips, and then I'll be threading in some of my own thoughts along the way. So we'll crack straight into it. Deontay Wilder saying the reason that he lost, it comes down to the 15 minutes before the fight.
Everything that happened, it happened the last 15 minutes into the fight. There's a lot of things that went on, It's a lot of things that I don't even want to talk about at this moment in time. I'm still reflecting on certain things, and I can't believe the things that happened. It happened to me, and it happened to me at that point in time in my career. Maybe I'll come out with some things later on, as things unfold, as I get into camp and stuff like that. But certain things I don't want to talk about at this moment in time. I'm still reflecting on it and trying to figure some things out.
If Wilder is referring to his costume having weakened his legs, which he was on the record about in the week after the fight, then he obviously doesn't want to mention it now. And no doubt he's been advised not to, given the negative backlash previously. And if it's not the costume, what else could Wilder actually be referring to? Hopefully not fresh excuses. I think we had our fill of those. But I'm sure people have been working with Wilder on what topics to stay away from in public, what language not to use, and instead trying to focus him on issues that portray him in a favourable light. Because let's face it, he didn't do himself any favours after the fight. And this interview with the PBC Podcast, his first for 6 weeks, it is a safe space in that it's an in-house publication of sorts. He doesn't need to worry about tricky questions. No doubt those questions were vetted. They were always going to give him safe questions, and they were always going to fail to follow up on the juiciest comments that did require further scrutiny. Some of the stuff that sort of stands out and you go, well, hang on, let's talk about that a bit more. But it is telling that Wilder is continuing to put all the loss down to what happened before the bell rung, not after it. And the interviewer did try to sort of give him a little bit of leeway to explain if there was anything to do with tactics. It was an obvious follow-up question. What did something that happened in the ring contribute to the loss? But no, this was Wilder's response.
No, not at all. Even with the first of the bell, the thing about it that it's easy to understand, what type of person Deontay Wilder was in that moment in time. Even when I took off my mask and the things that I was doing, I've been in this sport for a very long time. People have seen me fight, all over the world for a very long time. So people automatically knows, how I am and, how I should look. And people that know boxing know that wasn't Deontay Wilder that night. I was a zombie that night. It was something, like I said, I can't talk about a lot of things, but it wasn't Deontay Wilder that night. You can tell from the mask, from my reaction to certain things that I was doing in the ring. You can look from the first fight into the second fight, and you can tell it was two different people.
See, the issue that I have with those statements, saying he was a zombie, he wasn't the same as the first fight, etc., is when will the real Deontay Wilder please stand up? If you'd forgotten, Wilder publicly stated after the first fight that he didn't perform, that the moment got to him, leading him to become anxious, going away from the game plan and going for the knockout. Those are his words, and if you don't believe me, go back to his Instagram statement days after that first fight. So again, Wilder is saying he underperformed. In this interview, it was all about what he did wrong, what he didn't do, or what happened before the bell, rather than what Fury did to him after the first bell rung. And Wilder's mentality is Fury is not the champion.
But we only can get stronger, learn from a lot of situations, learn from this situation and get better and better. It's not over, In my eyes, I don't see Fury as a champion. It's still going. He ain't the champion yet. We still got one more fight left. I'm looking forward to giving the world the best of Deontay Wilder. Looking forward to coming back in there and doing what I got to do. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to feel like I'm making any excuses or anything like that. I just want the people to know that I'm happy, I'm in full health, and I'm coming back stronger than ever.
So the last two audio clips, Wilder has stated Fury isn't the champion, that he's not making excuses, and that he's in full health. All extremely dubious statements given what happened, one in the fight, after the fight, and the fact that he's currently rehabbing a bicep injury. So it just said he's in full health, but he's got a bicep injury, and more on that in a moment. Wilder, though, as a fighter, a beaten fighter, taking the first loss of his career, he's doing what we see most beaten fighters do. He's trying to rationalize, explain away the loss, make out if he changes, just little things, certain things, a win is guaranteed. Mentally, in many ways, he's got to do this. He's got to build himself and his confidence back up. Fighters will say and do all manner of things in this regard, and he has to really do it, because if he didn't, he's probably halfway to losing the mental battle ahead of the trilogy fight. But of this injury, he injured his left bicep in the rematch on February 22nd.
Yeah, recovery's going well. I'm in therapy. I ended up injuring it during my last fight, somewhere up in there. But everything's going great with it. That's another thing. I'm just focusing on recovery, get myself back to full health.
Wilder has also confirmed he's looking to bring in more expertise into his next training camp.
Two people I'm bringing in. One of them he always come to camp on some basis or whatever. He always around, in and out anyway. But we'll see what happens. I think we got a great team that's going to be formed, getting ready. Once everything is go back to normal, hopefully it'll be sooner than later, and I can get my team in order, and we can move forward with our game plan.
So he talks about a couple of extra people. Well, at least one of them sounds like it would be new. The other has come to training camp a lot, but perhaps from what he's saying will be used in a slightly different capacity. And I wonder if that guy who's always coming to training camp that he's referring to is Malik Scott. Maybe they will utilize more of the sort of skills that he has, technical things, because let's face it, Wilder can sharpen up on some things. It will be interesting to know, though, how will Wilder and his team structure things? How will they work? Because the risk of just bringing in additional people and keeping everybody else on board could mean too many cooks in the kitchen, too many voices. And noted trainer Ronnie Shields has already voiced that publicly as an issue in the Wilder camp, and this is ahead of other people coming in. But Wilder has indicated that there will be changes. So seemingly that is an admission something has to change. But you could look at that also in a positive way, that he's willing to look at things and him and his team go, okay, we need to do things slightly differently. And you may have seen in the media in recent weeks, there's been a bit of talk bubbling along about whether Wilder should take the third fight. One of those stoking that fire is promoter Eddie Hearn, who wants Wilder to step aside because he wants to make the Joshua and Fury fight. But at the same time, Hearn's also been saying if Wilder steps aside, how embarrassing that would be. He's trying to have it both ways. But Wilder says no one should be surprised that he is taking the third fight.
I am who I am. I'm Deontay the Boys from Wilder, and nothing's going to change about that. Why wouldn't I not want it? Like I said, at this moment in time, we're just sitting back. There's going to be a time and place where I'm ready to come out. It's going to be a time and place where I say what I need to say, But looking at the fight, he know that wasn't me. I know that wasn't me, and the people in the boxing, everyone know that wasn't the real Deontay Wilder. Something was wrong with him, and we'll show. Like I said, it's a time and place for it all, and I'll reveal a lot of things, But I'm looking forward to it. Actually, I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get the people what they want to see. I know I'm a king. I know I'm a great king. I know I'm a great leader. I've led y'all so far. I know I'm an inspiration to so many. I know I motivate so many. And just want to tell you guys that I'm still here. I'm not going nowhere. We're not going nowhere at all. Like I said before, we may have lost on that night in the ring, but we're winning in life. And that's where it counts. Most of all, I'll be back. I'll be back stronger than ever.